was a relatively dry day today, although it's rather warm, but it's going to start to feel a little soupy. July soupiness means heat and humidity returning. A full look at your Wjbf 6 forecast is coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 4, taking a closer look at safety in this sun. A doctor talks to us about the best protection.
Plus, a new law in South Carolina to help victims protect themselves against offenders.
And housing the homeless, reaction to the Richmond County Sheriff's new plan as Your News at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is Wjbf News Channel 6 at 4.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brad Means. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Jenny Montgomery. We will get to those top stories in a moment, but first, we're getting ready to crank up the heat.
We're going. Coming up in just a few minutes. Jenny and Brad.
All right, Tim, thank you. The next 3 days will be some of the hottest this summer, as Tim was saying, so you might think about putting on extra sunscreen. But local medical professionals encourage you to use protection even on a not-so-sunny day. Bria Smith is live in Augusta now to explain. Bria?
That's right, Jenny. Well, between 10 a.m. and 6 at night are the hottest times for UV exposure, but experts say you should wear sunscreen even when it's not hot.
Here in Georgia, we have nice, long, hot summers, but we also have mortality rates related to melanoma that are higher than the national average.
Getting some sun can be good for you, but there's a thin line between what's a healthy amount and what's too much.
For vitamin D production, it can be really beneficial, but we want to limit the amount of sun that we're getting. We certainly want to make sure that when we're out in our backyards, in our normal day-to-day, in going to the car, that we're thinking about sun protection on a daily basis.
Like Mary Claire Regan is a community program coordinator at the center and tells me that's why AU has implemented a unique on-campus resource for students and faculty.
If you are on AU's campus, we actually have sunscreen dispensers that my colleague Christina Mira got put on campus, so you can go stick your hand under and get some sunscreen.
There are certain things you should look out for when buying sunscreen, and it's important to make sure you reapply.
You want to look for an SPF of 30 or higher. So 50 is about as good as it gets. After 50, it's not going to do you much good. And then you're going to want broad spectrum sunscreen, so that protects against UVA and UVB rays. And then the last thing you're going to want to look for is it's water resistant.
And if you're someone who spends most of your day in the sun, Dr. Aurora believes keeping a close look at growing blemishes could be a proactive approach.
So we particularly want people to pay attention to not just those areas, but any mole that really is changing over time. And that can be in size, that can be something that's enlarging, or where the borders are becoming a little more irregular.
Doctors and program leaders want people to know, despite the amount of melanin you might have, protection is always key.
Melanoma happens to all skin types, and it can be harder to detect, of course, with increased amounts of melanin as well. So it's important for all of us to be vigilant about looking at our own skin.
The Georgia Cancer Center does provide more resources like in-person classes to help protect you from the sun. Reporting live in Augusta, Bria Smith, WJBF, News Channel 6.
The heat is also burning your money with the air conditioner cranking all summer long, and especially during these heat waves. Energy experts advise 3 simple steps. Close your blinds and drapes. Air dry your dishes in the dishwasher. And set your thermostat to 78 degrees. You can also try using fans. And you should caulk your windows and doors to prevent cold air from escaping your home, which could cause your AC to work harder.
You can make a bigger impact with managing your thermostat. So we're recommending you keep your thermostat set at 78 degrees. That's kind of an optimum temperature. To manage your comfort for yourself, your family, your pets in the home, think about using fans to kind of manage that comfort level.
The most energy efficient time to run your appliances like your dishwasher and washing machine would be after 7 p.m. or before 2 in the afternoon. Augusta has a plan designed to save tax dollars after seeing some parts of the administrator's government right-sizing proposals. Mayor Johnson calls the plan a start, but wants to see more spending cuts. He says he's going to call on department heads to present one budget this year reflecting a 10% cut.
But at least
model a 10% cut to see how that affects your department. If it affects personnel, if it affects your ability to provide services to our citizens, at least model it. Not stating that we're going to implement it, but I think it needs to be modeled. Sometimes you have to put these stress tests in place just to see where we are.
The right sizing plan also proposes selling off some of the city's underused properties like old fire stations. Mayor Johnson says that's something he's willing to discuss with commissioners.
I tell you, you can never lock your way up out of any problem. So we're not trying to criminalize people for being poor or having mental health issues. But again, we have to protect property owners and people that serve in Richmond County.
And there he is, Richmond County Sheriff Richard Roundtree launching a new program. Law enforcement is going to team up with businesses, especially those near Washington Road and I-20. Why? To address homelessness in the area and provide resources for homeless folks to get help. They'll also try to clean up parts of Augusta that could be hot spots for crime. The sheriff introducing this property owner response team at a town hall last night. But in case you couldn't make it,
We'll place it around our website and let business owners know within that corridor if they want to sign up, they can come down to the sheriff's office and they can sign up anytime.
the sheriff says he hopes to start enforcing the program next week. People who run local homeless shelters are reacting to the sheriff's plan today. Hannah Latier joining us live now with those details. Hannah?
Thank you, Brad. Shelter operators tell us there's been an increase in the number of people who need a place to stay, which has taken a toll on their resources. Those who run the shelters say they're happy the sheriff has a plan, but they say they're already struggling to provide enough resources for the city's growing homeless population. If the program drives more homeless people to shelters to take advantage of their services, those shelters are going to need more money.
Yeah, so we've doubled the amount of food that we've served this year compared to last year. We've already run through our food budget, so we're in desperate need of donations to be able to serve the people who need it the most.
I'm praying right now about adding some more beds, and if our staff can handle it. It's just a big strain on our resources.
We'll check back in with those shelters over the next few weeks to see if there's been any changes. In the meantime, I'll have information at wjbf.com about how you can help them out. Live in Augusta, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
And there's information for you now from a homeless shelter website. It reports Georgia has about 11,000 people without a home, and there are about 18,000 beds at shelters. State data shows domestic violence and a lack of affordable housing are contributing factors to homelessness. Also, families with extremely low income are more likely to be evicted.
Homelessness often comes with a sense of social disconnection, with a sense of isolation, with a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, and there's often mental health problems with that. Many people who are homeless are there because of untreated mental health problems.
Lawmakers go back to the state capitol in January, and they are likely going to talk about bills that deal with mental health, housing, and homelessness.
The address confidentiality bill in South Carolina would protect victims of human trafficking and domestic violence from offenders. It conceals their home address from their attacker or potential attackers. Taylor Maresca explains.
The address confidentiality program would allow victims of domestic violence, human trafficking, stalking, harassment, or sexual offenses to use a designated address on public documents rather than their actual residential address. This program is already in place in most U.S. states, including North Carolina. South Carolina is one of only a handful without it.
When they find somewhere new to live, when they start to move on with their lives, oftentimes their address then becomes public knowledge, especially if they're going through government agencies, it becomes public knowledge, and so the perpetrator can then potentially find them again.
Sarah Barber is the executive director of the South Carolina Coalition Against Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault. She says a bill like this is long overdue. More than 42% of females and 29% of males in South Carolina experience intimate partner physical violence, sexual violence, or stalking in their lifetime.
We hope that it increases their safety, that it gives another option for survivors. Each survivor has individual needs as they build their pathway to safety, and we hope this is just another tool that can help them as they move forward.
The program would be run through the State Attorney General's office. They would provide confidential mail forwarding services to survivors survivors. The legislation also creates a state-level confidentiality requirement to protect communications between victims and nonprofit domestic and sexual violence organizations. Officials say if created, the program would cost about $270,000 a year.
The bill is currently in the State House. If passed, it would go into effect a year from now, in July of 2024. A local high school has a new cell phone policy for the upcoming school year. Jefferson County's policy was released a few weeks ago, but was officially presented at a school board meeting last night. It's getting mixed reviews from parents and students. Carl Prescott believes this policy change will impact the culture at the school for the better.
We want to make this a cohesive environment for learning for all students, a place where our teachers can teach, and a place for everyone to learn. And so we think we can best do that with taking out some of these distractions. And one is to start with the cell phones.
The fall semester is right around the corner. Open house is July 30th, and the first day of school is August 2nd.
A decision to revoke the alcohol license of a former restaurant owner is going to stand. Stay Social Tap and Table in Evans lost its license in October and closed. Commissioners ruled its food sales did not meet a minimum threshold for total sales. Well, the owner asked a judge on Monday to reverse that decision, and the judge rejected the request. The Postal Service reviewing the operations of its mail processing facility in Augusta, all part of a 10-year plan to launch new products and services for mailing and shipping needs for everybody in the future. The post office investing $40 billion trying to upgrade its aging facilities across the country. Now, you are asked to complete a survey. They want your feedback on what you think of the Postal Service. There's going to be a meeting in Augusta at a later date. If you want to jump on that survey, we have a link to it on our website, Wjbf.com. Coming up, a look at ways to deal with chronic back pain.
What researchers say you can do to get relief. After the break.
Welcome back, everybody. Did you know back pain affects more than 600 people worldwide? There are things you can do to prevent it, as Justin Finch explains.
Your desk and chair at work might be more than just uncomfortable. They might be the cause of your back pain. According to the Mayo Clinic, work-related body positioning is a big risk factor for low back pain. In fact, low back pain is a leading cause of disability worldwide, resulting in approximately 264 million workdays lost in the U.S. alone and cost Americans an estimated $2.2 billion a year. To protect yourself from developing a back injury at work, experts recommend wearing shoes with support, cushioning, and stability, sitting at your desk with your knees and hips at the same level and your computer monitor at arm's length, stretching and performing light physical activity to increase muscle support, taking breaks that involve standing and walking throughout the day. And if you experience back pain, experts say you can try over-the-counter pain medicine, heating pads, and pain relief creams. But if you notice your pain isn't improving or you begin to have fever, numbness, or muscle weakness, see a doctor immediately. With this Medical Minute, I'm Justin Finch, ABC News.
Healthcare leaders say anxiety can also contribute to chronic back pain.
Having a baby in the neonatal intensive care unit, or NICU, can be a challenge for parents, but new research shows webcams can ease worry and create space for remote bonding. The study included about 60 infants and looked at how families used a 24/7 NICU webcam. Findings show parents logged into the webcam more on days they couldn't visit the NICU or if they lived more than 15 miles away.
Our finding that on the days the parents were not able to come in, but they logged in more, just shows that, it was really helpful for the parents, the webcams, to bond with their children.
Researchers say the data suggests a virtual connection made in the NICU experience less stressful for some parents.
We had another hot one out there, a big change from yesterday even.
But will our hot streak continue? Tim Miller has the answer after the break.
I'm attorney.
Today.
The Live 5 for 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
Well, summertime is officially here. Like, right, duh. It's hot, it's It's humid, and it's going to get even more humid with a heat index pushing near 110 maybe by the weekend. We'll talk about that with the 5 or 6 forecast straight ahead.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 6, cutting costs to try to get the right size for Augusta. What commissioners are planning for the city.
Plus, how to keep your skin safe in the sun this summer.
And housing the homeless in Augusta. Reaction to the sheriff's new plan as Your News at 6 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 6.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Brad Means.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thanks so much for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with dollars as city leaders look over a proposal to cut costs. The administrator's right-sizing plan for city government is now in the hands of commissioners. Senior reporter George Escala has reaction.
A plan to right-size city government coming at a time when the city's Rescue Act money is coming to an end.
It's going to be a very difficult budget year, but I think we're up to the task. That's why proactively our interim administrator did a great job by presenting us some options.
The options are part of the right-sizing plan before commissioners enlist $10 million in economic benefit, with almost $5 million of that coming from anticipated new revenues.
Those increased revenues specifically did not come from tax increases, but Augusta historically has been able to reap the benefit of increased sales tax over the years, and so this is on par to where that figure comes from.
The plan includes proposals to sell some city buildings as well as some underused city parks.
Some of these properties we don't need anymore. I agree with selling them. I know there's entities that have rented them out, but again, for $1, and I'm sure there's other facilities that they could go to. But it's the right thing to do.
But some wanting the plan to recommend eliminating city positions that have been vacant for a year or two.
In the private sector, it's unheard of to have an unfilled position for more than a year and continue to fund it. I think that will be a great start.
The mayor also wants to see what a 10% cut for all departments would look like when directors submit their 2024 budgets.
Not stating that we're going to implement it, but I think it needs to be modeled. Sometimes you have to put these stress tests in place just to see where we are.
The city is going into this budget season with a plan that could be a good fit. In Augusta, George Escala, WJBF, News Channel 6.
Well, you heard Tim talk about it. The next 3 days are going to be some of the hottest this summer, so you might think about putting on extra sunscreen, among other things. But bottom line is medical professionals will tell you to use that protection for your skin even when it's not so sunny outside. News Channel 6's Bria Smith live with that story. Bria.
That's right. The heat is on here in Georgia and South Carolina, and doctors want to make sure you're protecting your skin. Medical professionals at the Georgia Cancer Center say melanoma is one of the most common types of skin cancer, and that can develop from too much unprotected exposure in the sun. Doctors suggest you choose sunscreens with an SPF between 30 and 50, one that is water resistant, and if you're someone who has sensitive skin, a mineral-based sunscreen can do the job. They say sunscreen should be used even when it's sunny outside.
We know now that those damaging rays are getting through even on cloudy days, and so it's important to wear routine sun protection, whether that's a physical barrier or a chemical barrier or clothing. The right amount of sun really doesn't exist.
Dr. Orr says it's important to apply sunscreen throughout the day, especially if you're spending several hours in the sun. Reporting live in Augusta, Bria Smith, WJBF, News Channel 6.
It is time now to take a first check of this steamy forecast.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller tracking it all for us.
Yeah, guys, it's steamy, soupy. I mean, anything else we could use, right? Because that's going to be the words to describe the forecast over the next couple days. Let's have a look outside right now. Live 5 for 6, not showing much. It is showing some showers and storms. They're well, though, off towards our east, really towards Columbia. But other than that, that's about all she wrote. It is relatively quiet here at home. Take a look outside in Television Park. And you can sort of see that by the clouds. They're not really these billowing clouds that we typically get with storms. So there's Bobby Jones. There's Wrightsboro Road. Busy folks headed on home. Air conditioning on full blast. 90, our current temperature at Bush Field. But look at Louisville at 97, 94 in Waynesboro. Aiken coming in at 89 degrees. The heat index, what it feels like with the heat and the humidity, like 100 degrees in Louisville. Bamberg's down to 84. It was 104 not too long ago. You must have had a quick little shower. I didn't see a shower go through, but nonetheless, that's the latest. Notice it's all quiet for the satellite view. Tuesday view pretty much shows the same thing. I will show you, though, the temperatures are toasty. 105 in Dallas, 96 in Houston. Yeah, so we're all just dealing with July type of heat. There's for sure. 70 the overnight low for tonight. That'll be our forecast. Mostly clear skies and warm. That rain chance is really less than 20%. Winds will be from the southwest around 5. Next couple days, we're going to raise the rain chances up here a little bit. Better chance of afternoon showers and storms both Thursday, Friday into Saturday. Daytime highs 96 tomorrow, 95 on Friday as well as Saturday. But the real story will be the heat index. That could be pushing near 110. We'll talk more about that and how to prepare for that as well, all coming up in just a bit. Jenny Brandt.
Tim, thanks so much. People who run Augusta homeless shelters are reacting to the sheriff's plan to break up homeless camps and provide resources to help people get back on their feet. Hannah Latier joins us now live with some of the details. Hannah?
Shelter operators tell us there's been an increase in the number of people needing a place to stay, which is taking a toll on their resources. Those who run the shelters say they're happy the sheriff has a plan, but they say they're already struggling to provide enough resources for the city's growing homeless population. If the program drives more homeless people to shelters to take advantage of their services, those shelters are going to need more money.
Yeah, so we've doubled the amount of food that we've served this year compared to last year. We've already run through our food budget, so we're in desperate need of donations to be able to serve the people who need it the most.
I'm praying right now about adding some more beds, and if our staff can handle it, it's just a big strain on our resources.
We'll check back in with those shelters over the next few weeks to see if there's been any changes. In the meantime, I'll have information about how you can help them out at Wjbf.com. Live in Augusta, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
A local high school has a new cell phone policy for the upcoming school year. Graham Lee is in Jefferson County with what this means for students.
New seems to be the theme here at Jefferson County High School. New principal, new turf field, and now a new cell phone policy. The principal says it's an effort to increase test scores and help students focus better in the classroom. The policy was released a few weeks ago to generate conversation in the community, but it was officially presented at last night's school board meeting. According to Principal Carl Prescott, the policy will help teachers better educate their students, what has been a distraction in the past.
The teachers really felt that a policy was needed. It wasn't a big problem here in Jefferson County, but they felt like that more instructional time would be maximized if the students did not have their cell phones out.
While parents and even former teachers say this is a great addition to improve learning, some students like Tamaya Curry don't completely agree.
I don't think it's the best because I feel that it kind of limits, because when we go off into the world, when we're going to college, there's no rules like that. But it do prepares you for certain type of strict rules that you're going to have to adjust to.
Prescott believes this will benefit the future of the school and help students to do things the Warrior way.
Our motto is, we're one warrior nation. So we want to make this a cohesive environment for learning for all students, a place where our teachers can teach, and a place for everyone to learn. And so we think we can best do that with taking out some of these distractions. And one is to start with the cell phones.
Folks, still to come on News Channel 6 at 6, taking a look at homelessness in the state of Georgia.
While lawmakers are also concerned the homeless suffering with mental health is a big issue. As your News at 6 returns.
Tonight on News Nation. All health up to par. While Caring for Carolina is hosting a men's health event and golf tournament. The event will be held August 9th at the Reserve Club at Woodside Plantation in Aiken. There's a presentation at 8 o'clock, and really it's just a chance to play Woodside if you haven't played the golf course or want to play it again. Everybody tees off at 10:30 that morning. You can register all the way up until July 24th on our website, WJBF.com. caring for Carolina. Chief Meteorologist in Littleback.
Speaking of the links, if you have a tea time tomorrow, well, let's do it early because it is going to be a little bit on the steamy side, maybe even a chance of a late day shower or thunderstorm coming up for tomorrow. A full look at that 5 or 6 forecast is coming up.
It's a Goldilocks experience. Some heating and air conditioning contractor prices are too high. There's an extra charge for everything. Some advertised prices are too low. You know, like not real. Contact Styles Heating and Cooling, the company that is just right. Styles has been keeping area homeowners comfortable for more than 50 years. You can't trust just anyone with a truck. Styles repairs it right the first time and replaces only what can't be repaired. See us on the web at stylesair.com.
Let me get this straight. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
90, that's the current temperature. Bush and Daniel Field. Aiken's a degree cooler at 89 degrees. Notice the feels like temperature feels like 97 though at Bushfield. 95 in Daniel Field, 93 in Aiken. So the feels like temperature is going to be the real big story over the next couple of days. Speaking of Aiken, let's go down to the alleyway where it's looking fine tonight. You have a dinner plans or whatever, don't worry about any rain. We will remain rain-free. The humidity, though, returns tomorrow. You'll notice a big difference between today compared to tomorrow than over the next couple of days. Heat index tomorrow, 102 to 105 degrees, but it'll be even hotter than that once we get towards the weekend. Scattered late-day thunderstorms starting tomorrow, and again, all the way through the weekend, so we're on the rinse and repeat pattern for that, as far as that's concerned. All across the two-state, everything looks fine. Maybe a shower south of Macon. Scattered showers near Columbia, off towards the east, towards Sumter. That's really about it. We're sort of the drier air over us right at the moment. The more humid, sort of soupy, sticky air is to the south. That's going to infiltrate through the area, and that's going to be the change coming up for tomorrow, then all the way through the weekend. Take a look at current temperatures across the country. 105 in Dallas, 100 in Albuquerque, 100 blistering 10 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona. Generally speaking, even 90s up and down the East Coast, so it is certainly mighty toasty. It is July. No kidding, right? And as far as the tropics are concerned, everything's quiet other than this little area disturbed weather, which the Hurricane Center gives about a 50% chance of development over the next 5 days or so. Saharan dust is still headed our way. This is dust coming off the Sahara Desert, and really, I mean, it's going to cause some respiratory issues for our friends in the Bahamas and maybe parts of Florida. For us, it may make an interesting sunset, but what it really does, it puts an end. It says Wednesday, but really into tomorrow. Just a day that has, for us, no issues, but really for the tropics, it's all quiet, and that's really what we want. We want it to remain quiet. For us, it's just going to be opportunities of showers and storms for late afternoon, early evenings over the next several days, Thursday, Friday, really all the way through the weekend. You know the routine. Sunny during the morning, and then the afternoon showers and storms. Case in point, tomorrow's Thursday, then Thursday afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms will develop. Again, some of these can produce some pretty heavy rain, some gusty winds as we go through the nighttime hours. I would say by about 11 o'clock to midnight, any shower and storm chances are done. Let's jump ahead to Friday. Again, Friday morning's fine, but by afternoon time, we start to get our clouds. And then scattered showers and storms start to develop. And I'm thinking this may last until the nighttime hours on Friday. This may take us at least till about midnight or so before we wind down the showers and storms. And we'll do it all over again for Saturday and Sunday. The real story is going to be the heat index. This is the temperature for each day. This is what it'll feel like with the humidity, right? That's pretty oppressive. So be careful if you're out and about checking our senior citizens, and make sure our pets are certainly hydrated as well, and the kids outside. 70, the overnight low for tonight. Generally speaking, all of us are in the low 70s. Not a bad night, pretty much where we should be for this time of year. 96 the high tomorrow, 93 in Aiken, 96 down in Swainsboro with, again, our late day shower and thunderstorm chances. Certainly anytime after about 1, 2 o'clock. 10-day forecast shows the shower and storm chances in the mix for the next 10 days, but I want you to call your attention to the middle of next week. We may be pushing near 100 for our daytime highs, and we'll be watching closely for sure as we get closer to it. Umbrella winner tonight is Alyssa White of Warrenville, South Carolina. Congratulations to you, Alyssa. Register to win your umbrella at WJBF.com.
Way to go, Alyssa. Thanks, Tim.
Coming up, a local girls softball team is heading to the World Series.
And the Braves showed out in a big way in last night's All-Star game in sports.
In a wreck? Call me right now. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
The 8 Atlanta Braves All-Stars helping the National League to the first win in the All-Star game since 2012, 3-2 over the American League in Seattle. Braves had plenty of highlights in this one. Nearly started with a bang. Ronald Acuna hitting the lead off for the National League and nearly had a home run. Robbed of an extra base hit by Adolis Garcia. Can't believe it. Take another look. What a grab. He had another one on Sean Murphy later in the game as well. But bottom half of the first, Murphy gets his. Don't run on him. Guns it down to second to his teammate Orlando Arcia, who makes the tag. At really no choice when you see the replay from the home plate umpire's view. And Austin Riley, shining, known for his power, but showing off the defense, grabs the dribbler, bare hands it over to his teammate Matt Olson with the scoop for the out with an all Braves infield in the fifth. Take another look at that one, and Riley wasn't done. Double play in the eighth. Gets the National League out of a jam. And they get the win 3-2 the final. The Braves going to host a free women's baseball clinic in August at Truist Park, Saturday, August 19th. All you have to do is register in advance. Going to be hosted by Braves alumni, players, and coaches. We've got a link in this story on the sports page right now at WJBF.com. The Barnwell 12 and under travel softball team is heading to the World Series for the second time in 2 years. Our Kira Goldstein caught up with the team to hear about their excitement and what the trip means to them.
The Barnwell 12U softball team is headed to the World Series to represent South Carolina.
I'm super excited. This is our last year playing 12U, so it's a big honor for us to be able to go this year.
I'm very excited, but I think if we go out there and give it our all, we can come out on top.
Many of these girls have played together since they were little, but the formation of this team happened this year.
So, we were created at the end of our rec season this year, and we went to district and we were undefeated, and then we went to state and we lost one game, and then we won every other game, and so now we're going to World Series this year.
Despite being on a new team, the girls tell me they treat each other like family.
We all just come together and we pick each other up, especially in the lineup, batting, and in the field. So it's really good having all of us experienced players coming together and making a great team.
The coaches tell me this trip to the World Series is extra special because it's a culmination of all the girls' hard work.
You know, to get to this point, every single kid on this team has contributed, so it's not one here, one there. If somebody fails, you know, somebody's there to pick them up. It's amazing.
In Barnwell, Kira Goldstein, WJBF News Channel 6.
Well, it's certainly not cheap to travel to the World Series. They'll leave July 27th. Tournament starts on the 29th. If you want to help out with their fundraising, there's the information right there, and we'll have this on our website at WJBF.com. We'll be right back.
Ashley's bringing Fly at Ashley.
We're up to 96 tomorrow, 95 for Friday, Saturday, into Sunday with a better chance of those afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Heat index pushing there 105 to 107.
And that is our report for now. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you again at 11 o'clock.
Good night.